BMW 7 Series 2021. Overview. The 7 Series is a difficult car to love, because, well, look at it. It screams ostentatiousness, and just a hint of visual insecurity. Well, it used to be the ultimate BMW. A 7 Series was the undisputed flagship. But is that the case anymore? Especially now that the X7 exists, a luxury limo in the shape of a 7-seat SUV. There's the new 8 Series too, which will spawn a 4-door saloon version, with an M badge. Certainly, there are other BMWs vying for the title of boss of the family. Driving. In fairness, the 7 Series is a curious kind of limo, a car you'll ideally be chauffeured in, that's actually pretty handy to drive. For its 2019 facelift, little has changed. The steering is pleasantly weighted, the car turns with alacrity and precision, and though you're hardly likely to forget, it weighs 2 tons and takes up as much road as a Rolls-Royce Ghost. It's not intimidating to thread along a twisting road, nor a city stretch. But really, it's a waste of your time and mine to bang on about the handling. For a Luxo 4-door BMW that does corners because it wants to, not because it has to, wait for the 8 Grand Coupe. The 750i has a new V8 engine, which is indeed worth investigating. In order to meet new emissions and fuel economy tests, BMW's gone to the trouble of engineering a whole new bi-turbo V8 in 2019. That feels a bit special, a bit end of days. It's a 4.4 E2 bi-turbo V8 with 520 bhp, and when you're used to a diet of diesel-powered limos, it's something of a revelation. Whisper quiet, then deeply burbling. Ultra smooth, then punchy and responsive. It's a very happy partner for the 8-speed automatic gearbox, and makes for a pretty fabulous sporting limo, if you're the one doing the driving. Owning. It's highly unlikely that if you're in the market for a BMW 7 Series, you'll be frightened of a large bill or two. Not when the entry price for a 740i petrol is £69,445. Want that in long wheelbase, chauffeur spec? That's a £4,070 premium. Really, why wouldn't you? Is your parking space really that small? Tempted as you might be by the straight 6 740i and its piffling 335 bhp, it's not the 7 to pick if you want to game the tax man. Emissions are 161 grams km, compared to the 745e's 50 or so grams per kilometer. Even the diesels can't compete with that. As a result, you'll save around £400 a year in big tax. Not life-changing, but hey, it might take your mind off the depreciation. Big barges like this tend to lose value like yesterday's train ticket. The 745e will also be far better insulated to future inner-city charges which penalize cars which can't run on electric power in urban settings. One for the diplomatic embassies to bear in mind. If you're covering big mileages, then diesel will still prove to be easier to live with than petrol, so there's a lot to be said for the real-world 40 miles per gallon of the 740D. In the USA and China, the V8 750i and V12 M760Li will reign supreme, even though the V12 flagship has been detuned from 602 bhp to 577 bhp on account of its new particulate filter clogging the exhaust. Verdict. The 7 Series is a difficult car to love, because, well, look at it. It screams ostentatiousness, and just a hint of visual insecurity. That's a pity, because under its criminally fit face, it's a very talented limo, the best in its class to drive. In fact, traditionally, in this class you default to a Mercedes S-Class, because it defines the big limo sector. But you really might pick a 7 Series on merit, instead of just to be different. It drives with real accuracy and aplomb. The powertrains are magnificent. It's beautifully put together. It's too complicated to operate the infotainment, and the ride should be more pillowy. That's not enough to put us off. But the looks. Another matter entirely. Round the back, the LED lights are now more angular and their lighting elements animate and scroll across the car.